what it looks like to have ADHD as a CEO. I didn't realize I had ADHD until I became a CEO. So it can look like managing multiple things, having loads and loads of tabs open, and actually being really anxious that you're going to drop balls. And that for me at some points has gone into hypervigilance. So what that means is that I am checking everything, that I am actually holding so much. And that nearly made me really ill. And I realized that actually I needed to do things differently. And for me, that was about team, about having people around me that could actually do the things that I'm not so good at. So the systems, the diary, saying no, actually helping me hold my boundaries. Because I'm the kind of person who people message me all the time and say, Ruth, I'd love a catch up. I'd love to speak to you, etc., etc. And I'm like, yeah, that would be great, because I don't recognize, or I struggle to recognize, that I don't have capacity. I'm running 2 businesses. I've got 2 young kids. I don't have all the time in the world. I do a lot. And I also fear rejection. So it's very easy to go, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do this, and not actually think about the follow through. So allowing myself some space to say no, helping people, having people on my team who can help with those boundaries and say, actually, Ruth is at capacity, really helps soothe my nervous system. Equally, with that hypervigilance, when my business was growing fast, there were lots of mistakes being made, and I didn't have the right people with me. And so what that meant is I went into really hypervigilance, which was fueled by my ADHD of checking stuff. And now I have the right team in place, and I don't need to do that because they are good at the things that I'm not good at. They are completer finishers. They are really good at dotting the I's and crossing the T's when I am rubbish at that. So again, it's about recognizing what are my strengths: creativity, training, relationships, development, and what do I need support with? And I think that comes with self-awareness, like being okay with not being great at everything, being okay with other people doing things. Now, I remember realizing that if I had a really good assistant, PA, operations person, it would mean that I was able to focus on what I needed to do. And I've got that person. So knowing what you need. So that really helps me. Recognizing that sometimes you will have those days when you are not productive, but you need that and your brain needs that. So I usually have bursts, and those bursts I do loads of content. I write lots of things. I maybe like recreate the training. I do lots. But what I recognize is that I need to create space to do that. So I started creating more space in my diary, but also allowing myself space to rest, because it's very easy for me just to go, 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 go. Actually switching off is so key for my brain. Now, my rest does probably not look like your rest. My rest looks like active rest, walking, yoga, time with friends, time with family, and actually building that meditation habit, which is really challenging, but does make a difference. So rest, being outside, exercise, nutrition, space, and also being kind to myself. Yes, I can get hyper focused and probably do more in a day than most people do in a week. But I can also have times when it feels like I'm walking through treacle, where I can't make a decision, where I'm feeling anxious and irritated, and I know that I'm activating my nervous system. So a lot of the nervous system work has really supported me with my ADHD. I know, that I really struggle with time. So because of that, I have somebody who literally blocks me my travel. Okay. I know that in person, I need extra time than I think, because for some reason, I still think I'm going to be able to teleport between places. So again, somebody helps me with that. I know that, again, I find it hard saying no, so I have someone to help me with that. I know that I can overcommit, so I have somebody who helps me with that. I also know, like early on in my business, it was very easy to get sucked into, I need all of these things. And again, so I had that combination of, I need all these things that I'm being shown, and I also don't want to upset people. So I found it very, very hard to say no to things. So things like I would, continue coaching with somebody who's my coach rather than have a conversation because I didn't want to upset them. I would buy things and not make any fuss, even though it didn't work for me. And that was a big lesson in, how do I make financial decisions? Looking at the information, thinking about what that's going to do, thinking about the ROI, thinking more like the business owner. So there's definitely been a lot of spaces where I've recognized that in order to keep the business running, I need the right support. And then it's about, in order for me to function at my best, I need all those things. I'm like a flower. I need, nutrition. I don't know if flowers sleep. I need sleep. I need nutrition. I need rest. I need water. I need sunlight as much as I can, living in London. And that helps me to thrive. So I think there's always an element of self-compassion with this. Yes, I'm able to do things that other people can't. I'm also, I can get very overstimulated very quickly. I can struggle with emotional regulation, and actually being honest and open with my team about that has made a huge, huge difference as well, because they recognize that a lot of things that I think I've been pulled up on in my life, I always thought it was me not being good enough. It was me doing this and doing that. And the more I've learned about ADHD, the more I'm like, oh, okay, that's my brain. And yes, of course, I can look at coping mechanisms in other ways, but sharing with people, because of my brain, really helps build understanding. And that has helped me lead my team and be a more effective CEO. So if you're watching this, I'm never discounting how crippling ADHD can be at times, and how it can sometimes mean that we ruminate over things rather than take action, and how we don't finish stuff. But it doesn't mean that you can't be a CEO. Look at the support personally and professionally and recognize your strengths. That's my biggest bit of advice.